Welcome to 2minutenglish.com, teaching you English through 2-minute lessons.
In this lesson, you'll learn about the correct use of if.
Hello, viewer. If is a very common word, often used in many conversations. It gives the condition that something will happen only when something else happens. This lesson shows you through some conversations how to use if correctly. Practice the lines by pausing the video anywhere you want and repeating the lines. To brush up on your vocabulary, have a look at the vocabulary section at the end. Shall we get started then?
Hi Daniel, do you know how to use the word if correctly in English conversations?
I do know how to use if in some sentences, but sometimes it's very confusing and I just can't figure out when and where to use it.
I know some situations when we can use it.
Okay, like what?
Here's an example. If you don't drink water, you'll die.
Okay, so I can say that if you stand in the rain, you'll get wet, which is true and happens to me a lot.
Yeah, that's right. Let's take another example where if can be used to talk about the possibility of something happening in the future. You tell me this time.
Let me see. Okay, I know. If I were a millionaire, I would buy an airplane.
Yep, that's correct. Great job.
I think if is also used to join two conditions together in which the second condition depends on the first one.
That's right, Daniel. For example, I won't be hungry anymore if I eat a pizza.
Yes. In your example, there are two situations: eating a pizza and being hungry. If you eat a pizza, then you won't be hungry.
Okay, now let's listen to some conversations.
Hey, you know what?
No. What?
If you eat an apple every day, it helps you fight sickness.
Yeah, I know that. But if I don't eat an apple a day, will I die?
No, probably not. But I think it's better if you do start eating an apple every day.
I don't know. There are plenty of good things to eat than apples.
Yeah, you're probably right. There are other fruits too.
I think you'll be healthier if you eat any sorts of fruits. Fruits are healthy.
That's right. But I'm going to eat apples because I like apples.
If that's what you want.
If you were given $1 billion, what would you buy?
I would probably buy an expensive car, a house, and an airplane. And if I had some money left, I would buy a farm.
Wow, that's great.
So, what would you do if you got that much money?
I think I would help out my family first, and then the poor. And if I still had money left over, then I'd use it for myself.
Wow, I would never do what you would do if I had so much money.
Well, money changes people, but before we buy something, we should always think, what if I didn't have this much money?
So true.
Hey Jane, what happened?
Nothing. I failed my Spanish test.
Really? Didn't you study?
I did, but only if I would have studied more, I would have passed.
It's okay. It's just one test. And if you study really hard for the rest of the year, your Spanish will improve.
I really hope so, because if I fail again, I won't get a scholarship to Spain.
Don't worry. I'll help you with your Spanish if you help me with my math.
Figure out. Find out the answer or understand something. You might want to figure out how you're going to get home when your car isn't working. Or you might want to figure out how much it will cost to buy a new car. Millionaire. Someone who has a lot of money, at least $1 million, is called a millionaire. I bet you'd like to be a millionaire. Expensive. Very costly. You need a lot of money to buy something expensive, but what's expensive to one person may not be expensive to another. You might think a Mercedes is an expensive car, but if you were a millionaire, you wouldn't think it was so expensive. I might think a $10 hamburger is expensive, and you might think that's an average price. I believe you learned something from watching this lesson. We'll be back with a new one tomorrow. Make sure you come back for it. Hit that like button below to let us know your thoughts and subscribe to our channel for new lesson updates from us. See you soon!